welcome back to the man cave. So this is the second part of the Anycubic photon mono m5s Pro. Gets longer, this bloody name of this printer. Now I thought you'd like to see what happened next. The printing of the exposure tests and the first few prints, see how they came out. Right, I'll get on with it. Catch you in a bit. Right then, so off we go. I've just set the heater for 30 degrees at the moment. It is 14.7. It's going up. It started off about 13. I put some Sunloo ABS like in the vat, and I am about to run the RERF setup, which will print 8 calibration blocks, all set for a quarter of a second difference in time. So I think one starts at 1.75 and goes up to about 3 seconds for each layer. So hopefully we should be able to find out what setting it should be at. So I'm going to let that warm up and then we'll start the print. Right then. After we print the exposure test, the resin exposure test that comes with the machine, this is what you end up with. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7 and number 8. Now there are very subtle differences. Number 1 has come out quite well, but I don't really trust it, to be honest, because that's 1.5 second exposure. So I'm going to have to experiment with that. As you can see, I don't know if this will focus or not. There's some very nice detail. All the pillars are printed. It has got Anycubic on the side, the axes, the shapes, and each one of those things there are about not much thicker than a hair. And we've got quite a few dots and stuff. As you get to a bad one, as you can see, a lot of the hair-like things are not there, and half of these are missing. The same with number 4. The 4's not very good. 5's not too bad. What you've got to remember, that starts off at 1.5 seconds, 1.75 seconds, 2, 2.25, 2.5, 2.75, 3 and 3.25. Now the 3.25 is just not very good at all. This has got a few bends, and that is 3 seconds. That is 2.75 seconds, so that is what I have basically gone off. I'm going to do another print later on at 1.5 seconds, because that seems to have printed very well, but I'm not entirely sure I want to trust it, because as soon as you get to 1.75 it seems to be going a bit haywire. But the next best one is 2.7. 250 is very similar, so I'm going to go in between these two. Right, let's do a print. Right, so it's auto checking at the moment. As you may or may not be able to see, going down. Now the auto check is checking for any rubbish in the bottom of the vat that will stop the print working. It's also self-levelling itself. And then it will start printing, hopefully. Auto check's finished, so now it is printing. So you may or may not be able to see what it's doing. But this is one of the base layers, so the exposure time's about 30 odd seconds. And when it was checking the machine, it also checked there was enough resin in the vat to complete the print. So if there wasn't enough resin, you have to top the resin up. You can also see that the heater's working quite well, 34.4. So that should be plenty warm enough to complete a print and not having any temperature problems. As you can see, up it goes and back down for another base layer. And I think the time on this is 3 hours 7 minutes to complete this print. And basically it's from Beasterium or whatever they're called, and there's 3 witches, or 2 witches and a cauldron, and I've also put another couple of little heads on there because I managed to break one. So that should give you some idea of how easy it is to print on this thing, really. You literally put a USB in. You don't have to, you can send it via the Wi-Fi. I must admit, I don't trust that bit up to now. I haven't been able to connect. There's quite a few people having the same problem. I think there's a firmware update coming, so we'll see what happens with that when it comes. It's simple enough, just put the USB stick in the side of it and find the print you're looking for and press go. Nothing complicated at all. So I'll leave it at that for now and we'll come back when it's completed. But as you can see, it is very slight movement. It's only 0.5 0.05 layer height. There it goes again. I think we're doing 5 base layers, and from there it's sort of 1082 layers. And we're on the 5th layer. But the first 5 are base layers, so they take longer. They took 30 seconds a piece. Whereas once it gets going, it should start moving up at a more of a rate of knots. At the moment we're just doing the base. Everything starts off. It tells you whereabout you are on the print, how long there is left, all sorts. Now we're on layer 7. Right, I'm going to leave it there and I'll get back to you when the printer's finished and we'll see what goes on from there. Bye for now. So as you can see, the printer's now finished. And the next thing is cleaning up. So we'll get these off the build plate and I'll show you what we do next. Back in a bit. Right then, that's everything off the build plate. So now the next step is to get all the supports off, and just over here I have a margarine tub full of dirty alcohol. Now I wash them in that before I put them in the wash station, because the wash station I've got about 4.5 litres and it helps keep that alcohol a lot cleaner by getting the majority off in the margarine tub. So I'll get back to you as soon as that's done. Right then, that's all those scraped off the plate, cleaned off. This is the supports. As you can see, they come off pretty well in one. I don't think we've left anything on the support that shouldn't be. And there's another one. So from here, it's just putting these into the basket. So once we're in the basket, it goes into the cure station. And from the cure station, it's just a matter of holding the button, letting it power up. I'll put it on for 4 minutes and away it goes. As you can see, it's 4 minutes and it's counting down, and that's what we've got. It's quite a powerful little impeller in there, and it will run that way for 2 minutes and then stop and then go in the other direction. So as soon as that's finished, we'll come back and we'll go on to the next step. Right then, after letting these dry for a while. Now we're going to put them into the curing station. So let's get on with it. And that is basically it. I've set it for 4 minutes, which should be enough because there's nothing too big in there. And as you can see, you've got the 2 bars at the back. There's one there and one there. And along the bottom there's also one that fires upwards to catch anything that goes underneath it. And that should cure everything quite nicely, hopefully. So as soon as that's done, I'll get back to you and show you the prints. Right, then, as you can see, they're out of the curing, and that is some of the detail on one of the base plates. It does require a slight bit of clean up on this edge where the supports were, but as you can see, the rest of it is nigh on perfect. And when you look at the detail on some of these, it is quite incredible. And when you look at the broomstick, trying to get this into focus, and the birds on the top. And the cauldron with the snake going around it. It really is quite impressive, the detail. Like the hands of the walking pot. And the hag. They should make very interesting things to paint. As you can see, it's not that difficult to get very good results using this machine. Now I have got a few others. I'll go and fetch those. I thought I'd try something a little bit bigger. As you can see, the detail on them is extremely nice. The sword. It's very difficult to show the details in the light. As you can see, the sword again with a hole in the grips, the hand with the fingers, So as you can see, it's very possible to get very, very good prints off this thing. And finally, the Druid with the candles on the floor. I hope that's in focus. A little skull hanging from his belt. As you can see, it prints very well indeed. I am extremely happy with it. Right, I will catch you later. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll have the next part of the Arado build out at the weekend, but I must admit I have lost a lot of footage, but that's it. Being very new to YouTube, I'm not quite used to it, so I don't know where it's gone, but I'll see if I can find it. Right, catch you later.